What's up, everyone? Justin here. This sucks. I just want to say this news I got tonight, Saturday night. It fucking sucks. 2020 fucking sucks. It's a horrible year. Just a tragic, I don't know. Holy fuck. Who the hell is God punishing us all? I don't fucking know. I'm not religious. But what the fuck? It's like we're being given the big old FU to see how much we can take, how much we can handle. Not just as a wrestling fan. And to all the wrestling fans out there watching, I appreciate it. I'm just a hardcore fan, like a lot of you that watches every week. But seriously, 2020's been like a big FU to see how much we can take and deal with before we go nuts or have a fucking mental breakdown. It's unbelievable. Not just with the virus out there, but with all these deaths. Death is all around us. Good God. A ton of celebrity deaths. A ton of famous people have died. 2020's been one of the worst years of all time, and it can straight up go to fucking hell and fuck off and leave already. Bring in 2021 already, please. Unreal. This is my tribute video to Brody Lee. He was a wrestler. This is my tribute video to Brody Lee, a.k.a. formerly Luke Harper. He had other names. I think on the indies he was Brody Lee. His real name was John. And it's tragic. It's shocking. Brody Lee, current AEW talent, AEW wrestler, he jumped to AEW this year. And my God, this is tragic. He has died. He's passed away from lung disease. I don't know if he's a smoker. I don't know. I know before he left and went to AEW, before that, he got in really good shape. He dropped a lot of weight, kind of got skinny, and got really in shape to go to AEW and before AEW. But I think he debuted, I don't know when he debuted. I'm going to have to look it up, but seriously, this is sad, man. This is tragic. It's a big loss for not just all the wrestlers that knew him, but the fans. If you were ever a fan of the guy, if you ever loved his matches or thought he's a great big man, you should be sad. I'm sad about it. I was a fan of the guy. I was not a big fan of him in the Dark Order. He's better by himself, but whatever. It is what it is. And my God, Luke Harper, Brody Lee, the guy was a great fucking worker, a great wrestler, a great talent. He could do a ton of stuff. He's a big guy that many big guys cannot do. He threw a hell of a lariat clothesline. He did a hell of a big boot. He did many, many other things in the ring that were very good. Also, I gotta talk about him outside the ring. As far as I know, I haven't heard anybody say a bad word about him. Not any co-worker, not any wrestler, nobody that worked with him had a bad word to say about the guy ever. Nobody. In our pro wrestling, the wrestling industry and the business is full of backstabbers and guys and two-faced people. At least in the past it was. I don't know about anymore. Seems like everybody's nice to each other now backstage, and it should be that way, but there's still top guys, and there's guys that will always be mid-carders. And, yeah, everybody that knew Brody Lee backstage liked him, loved him, respected him, loved his work, loved working with him, loved sharing a locker room with him. The guy seemed like a great guy, really nice guy, loved the fans, loved his family. He had 2 children. And his wife broke the news, I believe, and did an Instagram post about him passing, that they're by his side. And she's now a widow. She has 2 children. 2 kids with no father. I believe his oldest son, I don't know how old he is, but she posted a lot of pictures of them. Her 2 kids on I believe on Christmas morning. Looked like they were opening gifts on her Instagram. And I don't know, his oldest son looked like maybe 10 or 11. Or 12, I'm not sure. The other kid looked young, like 4 or 5. So that's the saddest part. It's very sad he passed away as a very young 41-year-old pro wrestler. When you're in your 40s, you're still in your prime. And you can be in your prime as a pro wrestler in your 40s. Many have been. Ric Flair, Triple H, many others. So, Shawn Michaels, Undertaker was even still in his prime when he was like 40. He died way too young. He was taken way too fucking soon. He had young kids. That's what I feel the most. I feel the most sad for his children. That they're not gonna have a father. I lost my father when I was 9 years old, so I know what it's like to grow up without a father. I saw my father a lot when I was little, but he's the one that got me into pro wrestling. If it wasn't for my father, I doubt maybe I would have never became a wrestling fan. I don't know. So, I just feel the worst for his wife and kids. That's what I feel the most sad for. As a fan, all these wrestling deaths, all these deaths in wrestling are tragic. It's very sad. Very sad. It's heartbreaking. But I got immune to it. Sadly, I'm immune to it. It happens so often, I'm used to it. But back when guys like Eddie Guerrero passed and Owen Hart, I cried very hard. I couldn't stop crying. It was so tragic. And plus, I was younger. I don't know. I don't cry anymore. The only wrestling death that would make me cry is probably a woman or Asuka or someone else. Like, I don't know, Drew McIntyre, Roman, because they're in their prime. I hope they don't ever die in their prime. Or I hope they get to live to be very, very old men. And for anybody in wrestling, I don't want anybody to die young. All these wrestlers, the time on the road, the rock star lifestyle on the road, and my God, for them beating up their bodies and taking all those insane bums. They deserve to live a long, healthy life. And Brody Lee sadly did not get that opportunity to get to retire, be in his 50s or 60s with his kids and his family. And that's tragic. And I'll talk about his career in a little bit, but first I gotta talk about 2020 has been full of just sad, depressing news because of the virus is here. It's not going away anytime soon. By the way, if I was next time I visit my doctor and if he has a vaccine, I will fucking get it. So yeah, first, just what an awful year. I'm going to talk about some of the celebrity deaths that have occurred and happened in 2020. It's been fucking tragic. Still, some of these celebrities were old, but so what? They still shouldn't, they didn't deserve to go. So first off, the guy that played Darth Vader passed away. The original Darth Vader. He passed away. He was, I don't know how old he was. Doesn't say. But he's an old guy. Alex Trebek. Everybody knows who he is. The host of Jeopardy for like decades and decades. He passed away on I think November 8th. Jeopardy's Twitter tweeted, "Thank you, Alex." Some celebrity singers I never heard of, I don't know, so I'm not gonna mention everybody. Sean Connery, great actor. James Bond, the best James Bond, great actor. Sean Connery passed away at 90 years old on October 31st. I don't believe he did not have COVID. He was an old guy, but it's still sad. And this one hurt me personally because I love his music. I love Van Halen music. Eddie Van Halen. Eddie Van Halen passed away in 2020, 65 years old. He battled cancer for like 10 years. 65. He didn't deserve to go. Eddie Van Halen, rest in peace. Your music, your work will live on forever. And my God, you're, in my opinion, one of the greatest guitar players of all time. Definitely top 5. And probably number 2 or number 1. This one was shocking. Actor, Black Panther, part of the Avengers, Chadwick Boseman. I hope I said his last name right. Chadwick Boseman passed away. Young guy, 43. He had a 4-year battle with colon cancer. By the way, if you're a guy over 40, get your colon checked. Do it. 43 years old, Chadwick Boseman, Black Panther, great movie. He was in the Avengers, Infinity War, and Endgame, great films. He is missed and will be missed. I don't know how Marvel, if they do more movies with Black Panther, how the fuck are you going to replace him? I don't think you can. with another actor. She was pretty old. She lived a long life. Ruth Gator Ginsburg passed away in 2020, 87 years old. Also, personally, my grandmother, my only living grandmother, because my grandmother on my father's side already passed, I believe in the late 80s, I'm not sure. I was young, but my mother's mother, my only grandmother left, passed away this year, right before my birthday in July. She was 96 years old. So not just rest in peace to Brody Lee and all these celebrities that gave us a ton of joy. Rest in peace to my grandmother. Little Richard. I can't believe he passed. I forgot he passed away. Little fucking Richard. You want some wrestling trivia? Which WrestleMania did Little Richard appear at? WrestleMania 10. And he did a great performance. I believe he did the national anthem and or America the Beautiful. He did a great performance. Little Richard passed away in 2020, and the year just, it's not over yet, and it keeps getting worse. But everybody out there, think of the positives. Hopefully you're healthy and your family's healthy. So Little Richard passed away. He was 87. He died from bone cancer. Another great passed away, John Lewis, the great civil rights icon John Lewis. He was also a senator. Died at 80 years old in July. He's battled cancer, pancreatic cancer. Rest in peace, John Lewis. This sucked. This death. Regis Philbin, Regis, passed away in 2020. Again, 2020, you can go straight to hell. Regis passed away, 88 years old. He passed away on my birthday, July 24th. Regis passed away of natural causes, so I guess that's a positive. A lot of other, oh man, this one was shocking, really shocking as fuck. The guy was young. I think he's 41. I can barely talk about it. Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant passed away in February. I don't know what else to say. It's horrible. He had a young baby. He's left a wife and an older kid. I mean, for Kobe's sake, at least he didn't have to live through COVID, I guess. But tragic. I wish he was never ever killed and taken from us. And his daughter. 13-year-old daughter was in the helicopter with him. He should have never went out. In the damn helicopter, he should have never went out. It was really foggy. This is what I heard. It's really foggy. The pilot went up too high and passed out. And the plane went crashing down because he couldn't fly it. He couldn't see from the fog. Tragic. Let's see these other deaths. if I know any of these people. A lot of people famous have passed away in 2020. A lot. About Regis, he appeared at WrestleMania 7 also, and he would always invite a lot of wrestlers to be on his show. That was good. That it seemed like he was a wrestling fan, or respected all the wrestlers. Another great guy, musician, passed away recently, Leslie West. The guy made great music. He was part of the band Mountain. Leslie West, rest in peace. Kelly Preston, that was sad as hell. She passed away. She was young. She was 57 years old. Kelly Preston passed away. She passed away from her battle with breast cancer. Kelly Preston. Another guy recently passed away, was involved in wrestling a lot in 96, 97. Kevin Green. Great Hall of Fame NFL football player, Kevin Green. Mean Kevin Green. Hell of a football player. One of the best linebackers of all time. Personally, the guy coached for my Green Bay Packers. He was a coach for the Packers for a lot of years. He was a linebackers coach. He was a part of WCW a lot. Nitros, pay-per-views. Kevin Green was awesome. He will be missed. He was only in his 50s. I don't have his age, but I believe he's like 56 or 8. Somewhere around there. Rest in peace, Kevin Green. Just so many deaths. Jerry Stiller, famous actor. Just so many. But now I'm going to get to Brody Lee and his tribute. Gotta do a tribute to the guy. He busted his ass as a wrestler. He had great matches with just about everybody. He never took the night off. Never wrestled lazy. Never disrespected the business. He always took his job seriously. And of course, Brody Lee was a fan of Bruiser Brody. He looked a lot like Bruiser Brody. And this is just tragic. Brody Lee is gone. I can't believe it. I still can't believe it. We're never going to see the guy again on AEW. Very sad. He had such a short run. But again, what is most sad, he left 2 kids without a father. And he left his wife. And he went way too young. Everybody from wrestling that knew him, worked with him, tweeted about him to pay their respects. He was so damn respected by everybody. Stephanie McMahon tweeted about it. That her and Brody talked about their families and how much they love their kids. So many, so many articles have put up news articles about Brody Lee's passing. Fox News. A lot of wrestling, every wrestling site. ESPN.com has a story about him. Only 41. God almighty. It is tragic. The Bleacher Report has a story about him passing. Wahoo Sports, New York Post. On Twitter, Tony Khan, the owner of AEW. Tony Khan wrote the following on Twitter. He said, "I'm devastated by the loss of John Harper, known to fans as Mr. Brody Lee. Known formerly as Luke Harper, John was a great man. His family came first. His loving wife, Amanda, and their sons, Brodie. He named his son Brody. His sons, Brody and Nolan. He loved wrestling and was great at it. He loved you fans, and he says, please keep him in your hearts." Mustafa Ali tweeted about him a lot. He sounds devastated, like they were really good friends. Again, AEW's Twitter broke the news. Tragic. Randy Orton recently tweeted about him. I didn't read this until now. Randy Orton says, "I don't have the words. R.I.P. Hashtag R.I.P. Brody Lee. May God send his beautiful family as much strength as possible." That's from Randy Orton. This is really sad. Daniel Bryan. I'm sure they were tight or good friends or talked a lot. Daniel Bryan writes, "I love you and I miss you. R.I.P. Hashtag R.I.P. Brody Lee." Natalya tweeted about it. So many wrestlers tweeted about it. Adam Cole tweeted, "Devastating. You were wonderful in every way. Thank you for being you." Drew McIntyre posted a picture with when he looked pretty young with him and Brody Lee. Drew McIntyre, the current WWE champion, one of the top guys in the business. Drew McIntyre writes on Twitter, "Our entire brotherhood and industry mourns tonight. In addition to his incredible passion and talent, John was above all else a great man who loved his family more than words can say. Please keep them in your thoughts. I'll see you down the road, brother. R.I.P. Brody Lee." Sami Zayn, former Intercontinental Champ. This is hard reading all these tweets because it's so sad he's gone. Sami Zayn writes he's in utter disbelief hearing of the passing of Brody Lee. "I'm unable to process this. He says, "I can't believe it. Every fan can't believe it." Roderick Strong writes, "Unreal, what a legend of a human. You will be greatly missed." That's from Roderick Strong. Natalya says she's heartbroken to hear the passing of him. She says, who was a dear friend to so many of us. He was an amazing husband, devoted father. His love for his family was immeasurable. I'm sending prayers and love to Amanda, Brody, Nolan, and John's family. Sports Illustrated tweeted about it and paid their respects. The Iron Sheik wrote, "Brody Lee, I'm so sorry, Bubba. God bless you forever. You were best big man." It's just so tragic. So I'm going to read this article about Brody Lee, some of his career. Again, he was so respected. That's what's really, really sad. He was so loved and respected by all the boys and girls backstage that knew him and worked with him. And the guy, I wouldn't call him the best big man ever, but he's probably top 10. Definitely top 10. The guy, great matches with everybody. just about everybody. It's very tragic. He did not even get to be a part of AEW for a full year. He didn't even get to appear in front of fans because of the virus. I'll tell you one thing, when he debuted with AEW, if there would have been fans and no virus and he would have took off the hood to reveal himself, it would have got a huge, huge pop and reaction, and the rating would have been bigger if the fans would have been there. So, according to his wife, he was surrounded by loved ones, and he had a hard battle with lung-related lung issues. Not COVID, but who knows? It could have been. Maybe they didn't test him. I don't know. So, again, Brody Lee worked. He made a name for himself, big time on the independents. He worked for a lot of promotions, Dragon's Gate, Combat Zone Wrestling, and eventually made a big debut in the WWE, a part of NXT with the Wyatt family. They were a great faction, the original Wyatt family. Bray, Luke Harper, Eric Rowan. In NXT, they're great. They debuted in WWE. They were really, really fucking good for a couple years. The guy's, well, I'll list his accomplishments, but he's a former WWE Tag Champ, former Intercontinental Champ, former TNT Champ. And he held many other titles on the indies, I'm sure. So again, it says he found a lot of success in the Wyatt family. You think? Yeah, hell yeah, he did. The guy was great. In the Wyatt family, Luke Harper. My God, his look, he just fit in the Wyatt family so fucking well, and it couldn't have worked without him. So let me read now about some of his career, or more of his career, because I never knew when he debuted. He was born, man, guy he just had a birthday. My God, he just had a birthday 10 days ago. 10 days ago. And now he's gone. 41st birthday on December 16th. He was born December 16th, 1979. I will say with the beard and his hair, he kind of looked over 41. But last time I saw him wrestle on TNT, the guy was in really damn good shape. So yeah, he debuted in he was born in Rochester, New York. He passed away in Jacksonville, Florida. He has 2 children. I don't know their ages. And he debuted in 2003 in October. The guy had a really, really good wrestling career, made a big impact on his short life in the business, his short life on Earth. He made a big impact. I mean, I'll never forget him. The guy had a great look. He looked scary as hell, like he could rip your head off and kill you. And he was a great worker. Really, really good worker. Should have been he could have been a main event heel in WWE, Vince. You dropped the ball with him many times. You should have pushed him. And look, WWE, they wanted to keep him. They tried to re-sign him, pay him a ton of money, but he didn't want to be there anymore. And I don't blame them. They weren't going to use him. Or they were going to just job him out. Job him out for sure. So he started his career backyard wrestling, it says. And the guy had a really good career on the indies. Wrestled for a company called Squared Circle Wrestling. Wrestled for on the indies. Ring of Honor he appeared in 2008. And what else? He worked for a lot of places. WWE, made his WWE debut 2012 in NXT. And Harper was with Bray Wyatt at an NXT Live event, October 2012. He was also a part of Florida Championship Wrestling when they were still around. And then FCW became rebranded NXT. Made his main roster debut on May 20th. By the way, he was an NXT Tag Team Champion also with Rowan. They lost the titles to Neville and Corey Graves. That's kind of shocking. But May 27th episode of Raw is when the vignettes debuted of the Wyatt family, and they were great fucking vignettes. Really, really well done. Really, really fucking good vignettes for the Wyatt family on the main roster. The guy just... He did get injured, I believe, twice. Like, major injuries on the main roster. Tore his ACL. And I think he had another injury. I will tell you what. And then they brought him back, tried to rebrand him, put him in the Bludgeon Brothers. And I was a fan of that tag team. I thought they were fucking good killers. Monster heels. But then they just got rid of them. Debuted in AEW in 2020 under the Brody Lee on the March 18th, 2020 episode of Dynamite. And he was a leader of the Dark Order, where he beat up and attacked SoCal Uncensored. He would have matches and challenge John Moxley for the world title. In a world title match at Double or Nothing. His final match, I don't know when it was. I know he defeated his match of 2020 was, in my opinion, against Cody. Dog collar match on Dynamite. That was really good shit. Defeated Cody to win the TNT title. That was on August 22nd. His final match, I don't know when his final appearance was. On October 7th, Brody Lee lost the title, ending his reign of 55 days. Shortly after October 7th, it says Lee took time off because of an undisclosed injury. Now we know the guy was battling lung disease or something, or lung cancer. I don't know what he had. But he got really sick. I had no fucking clue he was sick. And no fans did. That's a private family matter until his wife and AEW announced it. But the guy had a hell of a career. Only 41 years old. That's way too soon to go. It's just way too soon to go. He worked in Japan, held tag team titles in Japan, or not Japan, Jersey All Pro Wrestling. I thought it said Japan. Jersey All Pro Wrestling heavyweight and tag team titles. He held a ton of titles. A lot of titles in Jersey All Pro Wrestling, Next Era Wrestling, NWA Empire, NWA Mississippi. Was ranked number 24 out of the top 500 singles wrestlers in 2015. Just, the guy held so many damn titles. In 2013, he won Best Gimmick as part of the Wyatt family, the Wrestling Observer newsletter, I guess, awards. WWE NXT Tag Champ, Intercontinental Champ, SmackDown Tag Team Champion twice, with Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton and Rowan. He won a Slammy for Match of the Year that he was a part of. 2014 Team Cena Team Alliance. So, let me see if I can get the official cause. I don't know if it'll say it, of his death. So it says he died, of course, December 26th at the age of 41. His wife said he was treated for a lung issue not related to COVID at a Mayo Clinic in Jacksonville. And then he died. I don't know how long he was in there. Who knows? Maybe they took him in. I don't even want to think about it. I don't want to say what I'm thinking. I don't know. Maybe couldn't breathe. That's tragic. I don't even want to think about it. All I want to say is a fan of his and his work. The guy was a great big man. Had a great look. Could have been a major fucking main event heel. If I had a company, I would have pushed him as a main eventer heel. And as a fan of his and just a wrestling fan, I had to make this tribute video to him to pay my respects to Brody Lee, Luke Harper. Rest in peace. Rest in peace. Luke Harper, Brody Lee, gone at the age of 41. It's a damn shame. Wish it would have never happened. And just my final thought, if you got loved ones that are alive, if you live with relatives or loved ones, fucking cherish them, cherish, and love your time with them, because you don't know when the hell you're gonna go. Nobody does. Just very tragic. Kiss your loved ones, give them a big hug, because you don't know when it's your time to go. When it's your time, when your time's up, you don't fucking know. So like, comment, share, subscribe. Rest in peace, Brody Lee.